Hello, my dear students. Myself, Professor Sanjay Chavda, Faculty of Land Governance, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. This session is for BBA LLB second semester, subject Business Organization, Unit 2, session number 12. Session name is Types of Partnership and Types of Partners. So, my dear students, in our last two sessions, we discussed about meaning, features, merits and demerits of partnership. Now, today we will discuss about types of partnership business and types of partners. So, what are the types of partnership? So, types of partnership, when we say, it has classified under different heads. So, number one, partnership for a fixed term. When the duration of partnership is fixed by the partners by an agreement, it is said to be a partnership for a fixed term or period. Such partnership comes to an end on the expiry of that term. However, such partnership may be dissolved before expiry of the fixed term with the consent of all the partners. If all the partners wish to continue the business even after expiry of that term, the partnership becomes partnership at will. However, the mutual rights and duties of the partners remain the same as they were before the expiry of the term. This is about partnership for a fixed term. Second, particular partnership. When a partnership is formed for a particular advantage or undertaking, it is called a particular partnership. For example, A and B enter into partnership to produce a film. It is a particular partnership. Such partnership is limited to a particular transactions or adventure or undertaking. Such partnerships comes to an end on the completion of the advantage or undertaking. Once that film is produced completed, partnership will come to an end. Then number three, partnership at will. Where no provision is made by contract between the partners for the duration of their partnership or for determination of their partnership, the partnership is partnership at will. The main provisions regarding such a partnerships are as follows. Number one, it is a partnership for which no duration has been fixed. Number two, a fixed term partnership becomes partnership at will if the firm continues to carry on business after the expiry of the period. Number three, its existence depends on the will of the partners. Number four, where the partnership is at will, the firm may be dissolved by any partner by giving a notice in writing of his intention to dissolve the firm to all other partners. Number five, the dissolution is effective from the date mentioned in the notice as date of dissolution. Where date of dissolution is not mentioned in the notice, the dissolution will be formed from the date of communication of the notice to all the partners. And number six, notice once given cannot be withdrawn unless all the other partners agrees to it. This is partnership at will. So first, partnership for a fixed time. Second, particular partnership. Third, partnership at will. And number four, general partnership. The Partnership Act does not provide for general partnership, but in practice, many persons use the term general partnership. Use the term general partnership. A general partnership is one which is formed to carry on any business. A general partnership may be a particular partnership or fixed duration partnership or partnership at will. Then number five, limited partnership. Non-limited partnerships cannot be registered under the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. So the limited partnership That is, now limited liability partnership can be registered under the Limited Liability Registration Partnership Act 2010. That is limited liability partnership. And now, what are the types of partners? So when two or more than two persons start a business, it is partnership business or a firm, and mutually or individually they are known as partners. Now, what are the different types of partners? There are many types of partners having varying degrees of rights, duties and responsibilities. Some important partners are: number one, actual or ostensible or active partner. Active partner is one who becomes a partner in the firm by an agreement and who actively participates in the conduct of business of firm. An active partner is actually an agent of the other partners of the firm. He therefore binds himself and all his co-partners by his acts done in the usual course of business and in the name of the firm. An active partner is also a principal for all his co-partners. He therefore is liable for the acts done by all the partners on behalf of the firm. In order to absolve himself from liability for the acts of his co-partners, he must give a public notice on his retirement. That is active partner. Then number two, sleeping or dormant partner. Name suggests itself, sleeping. It means he will not take active part in the day-to-day affair of the business. A sleeping or dormant partner means a partner who becomes a partner in the firm by agreement but never takes active part in the conduct of the business of the firm. Therefore, he cannot bind all other partners by his acts. But as long as he remains a partner, he shall be liable for the acts done by all other partners as if he were an active partner. Clear? Number three, nominal partner. A nominal partner is one who lends his name to the firm without having any pecuniary interest in the business of the firm. Neither he invests money in the firm nor he shares the profits of the business of the firm. He even does not take part in the conduct of the business of the firm, but he is liable like an actual partner of the firm to the third parties for all the debts of the firm. Such a person, however, does not fulfill the requirement of a valid partnership. Just for namesake, nominal partner. Then number four, partner in profits only. In a partnership, sharing of profits of the business of the firm is a must, but sharing of losses is not essential by all the partners. Therefore, a partner who agrees to share to the profits of the firm only and does not agree to be liable for the losses of the firm is a partner in profit only. However, he is also liable to the third parties for all the debts of the firm. It is so because, as per the law, every partner is liable severally and jointly to the third parties for the entire debt of the firm. But a minor who is admitted to the benefits of the firm, to the benefits of a firm and share profits is not personally liable to third person and to other major partners as well. Then number five, types of partner. Partners by estoppel or holding out. Sometimes a person by his words or conduct creates or permits others to create an impression in the mind of a third party that he is a partner of the firm, though he is not. If the third party, on the faith of such impression, gives credit to the firm, the persons creating or permitting to create such impression shall be called a partner by estoppel or holding out. Consequently, he shall be liable to the third party giving credit to the firm as if he were actually a partner of the firm. A partner by holding out becomes liable jointly and severally only to the persons who have given credit to the firm on the faith of to such impression. But such a person is no way becomes a partner in the firm. Therefore, he is not entitled to any right against the firm or partners in the firm. At the same time, he is not liable to the partners of the firm. He is liable only to that third party, that is partners by estoppel or holding out. So these are 5 types of partners. We will discuss again. Just name. Number 1, actual or active partner. Number 2, sleeping partner. Number 3, nominal partner. Number 4, partners in profit only. And number 5, partners by estoppel or holding out. Now, a retiring partner also becomes a partner by holding out if he does not give public notice of his retirement. And the continuing partners may use his name as partner. The retired partner remains liable by holding out to those parties dealing with the firm who gave credit without knowledge of his retirement. So it's just like partners by estoppel or holding out. Clear? Now, exceptions about the minor. Means minor, a partner in benefit. A minor being incompetent to contract cannot be a partner in the firm. It is impossible for minors to form a partnership. Even one adult and all other minors cannot form a partnership because they are not competent, they are not adult, they are not authority to take decisions. They are minors. They cannot enter into an agreement or contract. So according to the Supreme Court of India, a minor can never be a full-fledged partner even in an existing firm. This is what Supreme Court has taken decision in the case CIT versus Dwarkadash Khaitan and Company in 1961, Supreme Court 680. Minors may be admitted to the benefits of partnership. A minor may be admitted as a partner to the benefits of partnership. Like a person who is minor may not be a partner in a firm, but with the consent of all the partners, he may be admitted to the benefits of partnership as per section 30 of Partnership Act. For the benefits of partnership, a minor can be admitted or can be taken as a partner. So, students, here we have discussed different types of partnership and types of partners. So once again, what are the types of partnership firm? For a fixed time, then particular partnership, then partnership at will, then general partnership, then limited liability partnership. These are the types of partnership firm. And then types of partner: actual or active partner, sleeping or dormant partner, third nominal partner, fourth partners in profits only, number 5 partner by estoppel or holding out, and as we discuss about retiring partner or even about a minor to become a partner. So from this session you can prepare what are the different types of partnership and what are different types of